Fear of getting beat in man-to-man coverage every snap, every play. The fact that he doesn't travel as a cornerback is lame. Accept the challenge as the best and shut Adams down the entire game. Do it for the game of football. Stop hiding a cover 3 zone. Sherman responded. Would go in on this has been, but I have a Super Bowl to prepare for. Enjoy the view from your couch. Your 9th year looked a lot different than this. LMAO. Revis doubled down here with this. My 9th year, I led the entire league in turnovers, 5 interceptions, and 4 fumble recoveries. Enjoy the Super Bowl and strap up because this game you will have to cover. On that note, we welcome in his former teammate, Bart Scott, here with us. Good to have you.
Oh, it's great, man. I love this. I mean, because this is a discussion that defenders have all the time about who's the best of the best, right? Do you talk about the Rondé Barbers who played in cover 2, was a great zone corner? Or do you talk about guys like Deion, Rod Woodson, Charles Woodson, Champ Bailey, guys that took the challenge on every single play? And it's a big difference between cover 3 and what Revis is talking about.
Don't put Deion in the category with anyone else. Leave Deion alone, and then let's talk about everybody else.
Well, I would say Deion, Charles Woodson, Rod Woodson, Champ Bailey is up there. I played with Deion, so Deion understands where I'm coming from. Understanding that really cover 3 means that you're basically playing 2 or 3 routes. You're basically just playing on top, not getting beat and not taking the challenge, because if somebody runs a press out 15 yards, that's not really your zone.
Responsibility.
Which is why I need to stop you. Because the more you talk, the more you teach us, and then we have nothing to say. So let me let you know how I feel about it first, and then you can educate me and teach me, all right? I mean, that's how I got to go here. I don't like it one bit. I don't like the fact that Darrelle Revis would pick this time to do that. Richard Sherman said what he said weeks ago. He never brought up Darrelle Revis' name.
Yeah.
The man just won the NFC Championship game. Why are you going to say something then? I don't like that. That's number one. Number two, and I love Darrelle Revis, but I don't like him doing this at this particular moment in time. I respect what you're saying about how, guys, competing against one another. You mentioned it, et cetera. I get all of that. But here's my thing. Deion was not the same as Rod Woodson.
Right.
Rod Woodson played safety the last 5 years of his career.
Yep.
Prior to that, he was a corner. But Deion didn't travel, Rod did. So when you look at it from that perspective, there are different ways to skin a cat. Now, if you told me the job of a corner was this, I got you. I understand. That's not how the game is played. Well, one cornerback is Stephon Gilmore ain't the typical cornerback. He's a cover duty. Listen, you put him in zone coverage, that ain't his strength. Bill Belichick let him man up. Why? Because that's where his strength lies. You sit up there and we don't talk about him negatively. We recognize him as being elite. He is a shutdown corner. You have other dudes that better at spying, better playing zone defense, better doing things like that. So all I'm saying is if you're Revis, you are brilliant at football and you know that there are a multitude of ways to skin a cat at the cornerback position.
Well, I would say this.
Why do that? That's my
Before
point.
you answer, because I agree with Stephen A., once you start laying it all out, our opinions are our feelings, but you're coming at it with experience. It comes off as envious. It's like if Brett Favre were to start tweeting at Tom Brady, but you're a system quarterback. You couldn't just, when the play breaks down, do what I could do and go sling it like me. Like, he wouldn't do that. On the other hand, what this does from Revis, if you feel like maybe other than Deion Sanders, boy, I'm as bad as anyone who ever lived, and this dude, Richard Sherman, who's great, is getting credit, but he's doing something a little different than what I did. By doing this, you are raising awareness of it, because Bart Scott comes on TV and starts breaking down the difference, and now so in a way, you're kind of preserving the difference in the fans' eyes of you and everyone else. But there's no way around it. If you want to do it like he's doing it, it comes off as petty.
See, but this goes back now. You guys are assuming that this was a conversation that was had between these two players just this year. I remember when I was playing it, that was the discussion. There was some beef going back and forth then. So this is when Revis used his opportunity to have the biggest light to really shine a light on, hey, this guy ain't me. This guy's not the island. This guy's not a guy that's going to erase you can get away from this guy, right? You couldn't get away from Revis. You wanted to put Russ Walker in the backfield, he's in the box. If you want to put him on the outside, he's on the outside. So when we start having this discussion from like who's the greats of the greats, then I think we have to talk about the details, about who was able to do more things, who was able to have more scheme versatility. And if you want to, ask my opinion, and I know I played with him, I would say that even the modern guys, I would say Patrick Peterson is a better corner than Sherman.
Okay.
Because you have to be able to go in the slot. You got to be able to do it all. You can't just say Bart is a great blitzer, but he can't play in pass coverage.
So are you saying that Darrelle Revis could do it all and Richard Sherman cannot?
That's absolutely what I'm saying. He listen, just like remember because you were in Philly for a while, so you cover a lot of Philly
17
sports.
years.
Remember when Nnamdi came over?
Oh, yes.
Right? He only can play on one side.
He got exposed.
That was supposed to be the two best
He got
in the
exposed.
business.
Right. He got exposed. Absolutely.
He can only play on one side, right?
That's right.
And he couldn't play in the slot and he couldn't travel.
Correct.
So what Revis is saying is, I believe that Shermer can't do the same things that I could do because I can erase a guy around. And it wasn't cover 3 or cover 1. It was basically cover 0. It was Revis, you got him, it don't matter who it is.
And Max,
you ain't get no help.
and before you go, this is the only point that I would like to make. I'm not trying to say that Darrelle Revis should not have said that about Richard Sherman at all.
Yeah.
But if you say it's Super Bowl week,
Yeah.
coming into the game against the Chiefs, that's fair. It's like, damn, yesterday, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Them hammies look a little strong. Hey, he was running. It looked like he was going to fall in that deep route. Now, he paid it back, and he's a tremendous player. He's smart. He understands his strengths and his weaknesses. All I'm saying is us as professionals and experts, we understand the difference between when I look at Richard Sherman and what he does to a team and what he does for a defense. He ain't Revis.
But on the other hand, like a lot of this is branding, even where people rank you and how they think of you.
Yeah.
Revis liked the cash, correct?
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Like Revis, Richard Sherman, you might say, well, he's been smart about it. He was on Seattle. They were an absolute powerhouse.
Yeah.
They were the closest thing to New England that the NFC had.
Mm-hmm.
Now he goes to San Francisco, and they're a powerhouse.
Yeah.
And in both cases, he's having a tremendous influence on the success on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he was criticized for representing himself and not getting himself a better deal.
Didn't pay that 3%.
Well, not only that, but maybe by doing it this way, he could join a better situation. So it's like it's tough to say one dude is pursuing the cash and maybe is not in as good situation.
That's a different argument.
No, because it's significant in terms of how people remember you. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.